It's time for Power Hour.
Just close the fucking door. Close the door.
Can devs do something? Every day I'm checking the price and it's dipping. Every day I check the price, bad price. I can't take this anymore. I have overinvested by a lot.
Very bad, boys. Very bad.
There's bears out here.
Hello, traders. Welcome to the Power Hour for Wall Street stream. Yeah, we're here early, and I think it has to do a little bit with some price action we are receiving, and it's rather a somber occurrence. We've lost almost every major support at this point, with a little bit of a macro sell-off. Again, it is the last 60 minutes of trading on Wall Street before the close. It's All Hallows Eve, right? Halloween Eve. So it's getting a little spooky out there. But you know how it's all about the levels. And if we're above 112, that's great. Below 112, not great. Below 109.35801, oh my God, real bad. Oh my God, below 108.4, yikes. And then if we lose the last one, 106, the old candle high record close from December 2024, January 2025, earlier this year, to lose that, it's over. They did intraday October 17th on my birthday, they did lose this, but traders never settled up below that level, so it wasn't a true bearish breakdown. What happened was a morning star on the weekend, follow through, and another rally, pull back, higher low, you ran. But now the real big issue, I tweeted about this morning, last night, if you're in the Patreon Citadel, I pinged you about the concerning price action locally, where you can see one peak, a sell-off, and the rally that manifested into actually a lower high than the previous high. Now intraday, yeah, maybe rivaled that price, but as you can see where traders settled up the lower high, very clear. So other people, I mean, out there, I can certainly see it, could just be like, bro, isn't it just, if we care about patterns, is it not just this? Dude, it's starting to look exactly like that. Are you kidding me? And the fact that the right shoulder, if you cared about it being an inverse or just a head and shoulders pattern, that key characteristic of weakness would be the right shoulder was unable to rival the left shoulder, the peak of the left shoulder. You were short both times. So that is, to me, like momentum shifting. Momentum has shifted with confirmation, confirmed less than before, and below all key supports, including the 200-day simple moving average. So that was the worst case scenario. When I was live a couple days ago, we talked about, you're okay above supports, man, but okay, we might need to retest. Altcoins, there was really nothing about them 2 days ago on stream that looked good. It was just like XRP was great for a short setup. Ethereum was trying to hold on to that one last level. It was putting in a lower high again, and now they have those really bearish wave structures we had talked about, really starting to maybe play out now, the C to D wave beginning. So let's just hope, man. It's happened before, right? They take it to the absolute verge of collapse and they rally it, but even if they rallied it now, if you rallied, are you going to make a higher high than the previous discernible swing highs now, or is it just going to be another lower high? A formal bearish back test of 112 again. I mean, like, starting to get really tough to get out of this technical situation for this asset. Where XRP, it was like virtually impossible to get out of its rut. There was no way. Too much. So that's where we're at, man. Hoping that power hour short sellers on the stock market maybe cover, so there could be a little relief for Bitcoin and all of crypto. That's all we can hope for going into the end of the month. Really looking like bad price action to conclude the month, right? Let's look at that monthly that will be closing shop in 1 day, 5 hours from now. And oh no, where it was all okay, dude. It was okay. We were going to be okay, man. And then all of a sudden, bearish engulfing candle. That measured move of cup with handle, impossible to break. They're not letting it. In fact, you're going for your lowest monthly candle close since May. Whoa. So not great there. Maybe they can recover it in 1 day and 5 hours. Just pray to God this support holds, because it's starting to seem like there is, you know, an idea that there is just, of course, there's going to be crazy amounts of demand at this level, this zone. It's a huge zone, right? Multiple market participants around the world would certainly have limit orders set up, their bids, right? But you've gotten to a point now where the context really matters, where what is the most recent thing to happen since the test of this level? Lower lows and lower highs, and now back below these levels. And it's like the demand might very well be on the verge of completely being absorbed here, where there is no more demand. All those limit orders just eaten up by, you know, sellers, overwhelming supply. And if you break this 106 level, it could very well be very violent. Could be a violent sell-off. So where we had a little optimism with maybe a spring back test, recaptured key levels, that was data, okay? Then we got a new piece of data, and that is the most recent one, and that is not good, okay? That's where we're at, IMO. So Head and Shoulders, my God, it's a pretty tall structure. Really tall structure. You don't even want to know. But I'll shoot you straight, okay? Where we say the neckline. Neckline, I mean, you can be conservative here. Maybe let's just say the neckline is 1084, just to be nice, okay? Like that, the collar here, it's kind of scuffed a little bit because, again, the neckline isn't one spot. It is a zone, right? Let's say, though, conservatively, we're not going to make the bottom of the structure at 106. We'll just say 108 to be nice. Because if we went lower, then it'd be even worse of a measured move. So let's say that they broke it already. Bro, you're looking virtually at $90,000, 91,000. Because that's the, I mean, you would say like to 100% it was 90,000. But okay, there's a crap load of support at 90K. I mean, that would definitely be a candidate area. Of course, like first place they would take this is going to be clearly 100,000, 99,300. That's a place where there is definitely going to maybe be some limit orders, okay, clearly. But to lose that would just be, 90 to 92K, all right? So that's the measured move of this structure. If it performed well, that's where we'd be headed. So just keep that in mind. And unfortunately, as I'm speaking to you, my micro strategy alert just went off. It has been going off all day. New lows, micro strategy. Did I say micro strategy hitting its lowest level since early April? And we've been discussing this in the past week or two about these. Okay, hey, we did it, man. Jesus chimes for micro strategy being down 6.15%. And officially hitting an 88% retrace of a potential capital P shark, bullish shark pattern. But my issue with this is like, there is nothing looking left that's going to help you. That's going to help the argument of an 886 just holding. There's no way. If Bitcoin loses this support, chat, MicroStrategy is not stopping here. You don't take action on 886 type 1 reactions anyway. So if you're talking about technicals, you don't care about retraces and M shapes and all that, your next target, you're still waiting on $236 and change on MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor's Bitcoin treasury company that it was in 2025 up until about, I guess, a week ago. investors had lost $17 billion owning digital asset treasury companies, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, right? It's got to be closer to $20 billion now in losses for holders, for investors. And this is an extremely similar situation, almost identical in ways. We don't really know yet because Bitcoin may not be done, right? Oh, it could hold and rally. But remember, if you go back and you study MicroStrategy's chart, there was a blow off top when Bitcoin hit an all-time high of 46,000. Well, maybe maybe at the time it was 46.6, but the blow off top happened like we saw in December. Remember the 1618 still is the level. It was tested one day and it was over.
Complete. Complacency stage comes next for BTC.
What's up, static trading? Oh, I mean, my God, dude, this whole summer, even with the all-time highs, has been complacency. Good God. Thank you for the 5 super chat, dude. Good to see you. So remember MicroStrategy, 46.6, then it blow off tops, and then Bitcoin hits an all-time high, and it's like ridiculously lower. It is, in fact, it's 32+% lower. And then Bitcoin crashed, and MicroStrategy, and then eventually Bitcoin recovered and went to an all-time high of 69,000. And you could only rival that high you saw when Bitcoin made an all-time high at 65K in April of 2021. So you got the same type of stuff going on MicroStrategy now, like the blow-off top, right? The blow-off top in November, late November. Yeah, that's right. And then, the correction and then the rally, and Bitcoin hits an all-time high in May, hits an all-time high in July. And these two highs are woefully lower than the blow-off top. It's almost like the exact same story. It's like a rerun. So I hope it's not over, right? But dang, dude, this is pretty bad. There's no support again till 236. Chat, as I'm speaking to you in Power Hour, the short sellers today are not covering. My XRP alert has just gone off. And this is the one where I'm pretty excited about, because this was such a good technical argument for a short. There was no controversy at all. The trend was your friend. There was a confirmation high at a key resistance that you couldn't argue with. It was perfect. And it's down 5.59%. It was down yesterday over 2%. So we're talking 7.6% down since this little publication was posted in Patreon Citadel. I mean, that, if you didn't take action on it, extremely educational, right? Valuable education tool, because that is what you're looking for. You could flip the chart over even. Wow, the trend reversed into the hands of the buyers, right? Higher highs, higher lows. Wow, look at that huge rally. And then they sold off, and the old level that was resistance flipped to support once, and then a slightly lower low. Confirmation low, and look at it performing now. It's beautiful. It's the same way. So that's what those trade setups are for. Like, it's mainly to enlighten and help you see the whole, technical analysis is not fortune telling. It is not a form of tea leaf reading, crystal balls. It is literally a risk management tool at best. At best. That's why when someone requests an asset and there's no setup, there's almost nothing to do but to try to make there something be education about the past on that asset, on how we could have sized it up when it did show an edge, when there was positive price action at a key level, right? A dragon or something. But this is great to see some TA respect on an asset that is certainly, without a shadow of a doubt, in a downtrend. No controversy. Insurmountable adversity we were talking about. Oh, is Apple cooked or what? I mean, dude, you don't know, man. Like, they could pull a Meta or they could pull a Google. Who knows? Flip your coin on earnings, dude. And if you don't have that attitude, you haven't seen enough earnings.
Appreciate you.
What's up, Ron B. Perry? Thanks so much for the 541 super chat, dude. Thank you, dude. Yeah, so very bad, boys, but good news. It all made sense. XRP was the canary in the coal mine for this market, clearly. And you think it's over? It's not even close. You know, I targeted 1 for 219 to be conservative. Hey, just in case, man, something happened. You know, a little profit taking there. And then the big profit taking level is just back to 190, 196. Because history repeats itself. Okay. You don't want to look at Ethereum. You don't want to look at Solana. I'm telling you, chat. But we will. We will. Here's Ethereum. And here it is. The thing that we've kind of been worrying about since really October 21st is coming to fruition. You below 39.50, you're screwed. On the weekly, on everything. There is virtually no argument to own Ethereum when you're below 39.50. It's that easy. Oh, below 39.50? I don't own Ethereum anymore. Okay, good. You're going to protect yourself from losing a lot of money. Because this trend is down, and it is confirmed down with this most recent piece of data, that C point you can see. And the wave structure, I'll see you at $3,000 probably. That makes sense if Bitcoin's going to 90K, 92K. Plenty of sense. Now, of course, they're going to go check 3,500, 3,580 again, as they did October 10th. Largest liquidation event in crypto history. We'll test that again. There's probably going to be a little demand there. They'll absorb it. You might make a lower high. Shoot, dude, you might run all the way back at 39.30 again, 39.50 to back test it. But this wave structure is valid until buyers take out 42.68, which I don't see happening. They are distributing this asset. They are offloading. They are not accumulating. I hope you understand what higher high, higher lows mean, lower highs, lower lows mean. In this context, this is someone is offloading their Ethereum. They just are. The trend is bearish. It is not bullish right now. There are definitive things that have to happen before we can say number go up, bullish trend. Higher highs, higher lows consecutively. That will take a lot of work. And so far right here, it looks bad. And Bitcoin, lows of day, chat, right now.
Look here. Look, listen.
Breaking that support too on the 4 hour. And just once again.
Very bad, boys. Very bad.
There's bears out here.
All right. Well, on deck, 35.80, 35.20, but wave structurally, $3,000 on Ethereum. So you don't want to see Solana. I'm just telling you, being real, down 7+% now. The same. It's actually a more severe wave structure just because of that B point. See, on Ethereum, it was a 78% retrace, meaning there was leeway on where the completion of that pattern would be between a 1272 and a 1618. But on this one, there is no 1272 argument. It is only a 1618. And that's around 143. 1618. And that is confluent with a 200% retrace too. Wow, B to C. Yep, you have confirmed 198 inflection zone is resistance. You have confirmed it. You even formally today, at the peak, tested 198 perfectly as resistance before this collapse. Trend is not friend right now. Bitcoin's breaking support. I hope, I always hope, man. I always hope that the buyers are going to come in and save the market. Michael Saylor, okay? My Bitcoin, my energy, my cyber hornets, and all is well. But we can't, like, if you try to navigate the markets the way Michael Saylor does, where it's just number go up all the time, I mean, I don't know. That's just kind of like getting in a ship and you have a prophet and he's saying, we will be okay. Just steer the ship and go. But like, if you care about like, hey man, I might want to like not lose any money right now. Maybe like staring into these structures, you just like cash up. Like you see XRP, you don't have to go short. You don't have to take that short trade setup or whatever. But you might just be like, that looks pretty bad. Maybe like I don't want to own the asset right now because it looks like it could collapse, and it's collapsing right now. So, and there was really just nothing. I mean, Ethereum had an argument on the weekly. It closed above the support 39.50. But I mean, again, like all week, just right. Like it was a joke, dude. Complete joke. Yeah, he has access to unlimited capital. We don't. We have finite capital. So it's like, man, we really want to try to preserve that when we can. Really do. So look, man, they're okay. We're all off the lows, you know, thank God. Whew, it's all over, man. We're safe again, right? Isn't that how it works? No breakdown confirmed. 34 minutes to see that. We can look at like, oof, you want to see Dogecoin, dude? Dude, it's the same very, very bad situation. I mean, you're going to probably go retest that scam wick low. You can't even believe it. Let's just say no. Let's just say 16.358 cents is on deck. If you lose the level you're at right now, where it doesn't look like anyone's coming in to bid on it, and again, the context is miserable. Miserable context. This arrow points to the price of the asset. The buyers could not test 22 cents again, as they had.
BCRX on the monthly and daily. Also first time they are being profitably in years. I know earnings is coming up soon, but I feel like they are setting something up. But like you say, it's a coin flip.
Yeah, then it doesn't matter what it sounds like or what it is, because you just don't know how the free market will interpret their earnings, right? They could say the same thing you're saying, and if they're in line, or even if they barely beat, or even if they're just a little bit over expectations, it still could dump so hard. It's just that's the thing about earnings, man. It's always a casino unless you have inside information, and then it's a go ahead and go all in on it if you got inside info and just double your net worth or triple it, whatever. But yeah, we don't have that access, and it's not legal. So anyway, yeah, so Dogecoin's got about 8% downside if they lose this last level. And I was talking about that is a sign of weakness, where buyers try to a level that is just so undeniable in its existence, looking left. There's been resistance before, resistance. They could not test it again. You sold off, tested support, absorbing demand. A rally occurred, and what? Two highs locally that are lower than the previous local high. I mean, testing the 200 as resistance. That is, they are offloading. There is less involved in this asset than there was just 2 weeks ago, just as there was 3 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, and it's ongoing. So soon the same lows will change to lower lows. Do we think the bear market is out? People are like, what do you want to say about a bear market? You know, like, what is bear market? I don't know about bear market, bull market, that abstract concepts, dude. I can just tell you, when you have consecutive lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, you're just in a downtrend. You're downtrending. And until you begin to make consecutive higher lows, higher highs, the trend is not reversing. So it would remain in the downtrend. So that's where we're at on Ethereum. That's where we're at on Solana. That's where we are beginning to be on Bitcoin. So there's no need to like be hyperbolic or talk about, bro, it's the bear market, crypto winter is here. It's just, no, we're downtrending. Downtrending, okay? Does that make sense? We can look at these U.S. futures real quick. S&P top left, NASDAQ 100 top or bottom left. Man, what was so crazy was this supply line. I was watching it live as all the earnings reports were coming out yesterday with Microsoft, Meta, and Google. And at the absolute peak was when you had the huge pump on Google. And then Meta and Microsoft reported and it dumped. And it was just like, no freaking way. No way they're testing that supply line that's just been so well respected all the way back from mid-May. They did it again, man. Supply at supply line. Overbought threshold of uptrend. Yeah, bottom side has been violated several times, but I haven't touched this thing. So you got respect on the top end. You're at the heart line now. Hopefully that holds and you just attempt to rally here. But if they don't hold this, then you got a gap fill that easily would be filled around 25,388. That means everything's lower, you know, whatever. But wonder if it just all depends on Aapl in 30 minutes. They're going to be reporting. Who else is reporting today? Yeah, the Mag 7 down outside of Google. We can look at Meta, just absolutely destroyed. Their earnings was all effed up because they had like a one-time payment that killed their revenues, their EPS. Now their revenue was a beat, but their EPS was $1.05 with an estimate of $6.72, an 84% negative surprise. We worried about that classic distribution, and they just kind of made it happen on earnings, and it hit a low point today of $6.50, the lowest price since June 2nd. And all they've done at the high point of the day was go test not just this channel's old demand line as a supply line, also the 200-day simple moving average. Another little fact is Meta is trading below the 200 simple moving average for the first time since May 1st. That was the highest volume spike we've seen on this asset since April 25th, 2024. So well over 1 year highs on volume. That could very well be a breakaway gap where this gap doesn't fill anytime soon.
Did CZ pull the rug again? International guys.
Is that a joint?
Anon, thanks for the 420. Did he pull the rug again? I don't think he had to. I don't think he had to pull the rug again. You get that first violent sell-off. Oh my God. And then they attempt to rally. And they try to induce buying. And you begin to witness the pathetic rally where you're not even coming close to rivaling the high you had before the crash. And then you sell off again, test supports, maybe a higher low gets put in. Oh man, another little rally comes in. It's like, oh dude, we're going to be, nope, you just rivaled the previous local high. Oh, it's a little lower actually. You start rolling over. It's being confirmed that there are less market participants involved on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP. And there's no question about it right now. And that's as far as we can go with the data. We're not trying to make calls or anything. We're talking about the psychology of buyers and sellers, and swing highs and swing lows can give us, kind of a vision of what they're doing, what's happening, context, right? So Meta, very bad, destroyed. Could be a breakaway gap, meaning it's not going to fill anytime soon. They could take the 691, test that as resistance. Shoot, they could take it to 736 and roll over, but how do you get out of this? It's gonna take tremendous amounts of capital and effort to ever reverse what just happened. So get wrecked, Meta. On the other side of the coin, though, was Googl. Beautiful. Oh my God. 50 upgrades today. What did it do? It hit a high of 291.59. I know after hours, I think it clipped 295. So this is not a breakaway gap. I think this was certainly a breakaway gap. The volume was so high. The price disparity was there. And you didn't feel it anytime soon, so it certainly was. But this, I'm not sure about this being a breakaway gap. This gap could very well fill soon. So just keep that in mind. That was a huge pop and humble beginnings, right? Back to 173 or something was the entry of the trade setup. It was a concluded trade setup. The date of September 15th with target 4 getting hit, a golden ratio and price discovery. They consolidated after that for a good month, and now you're breaking out and running, right? The chapter of the bullish book closed. The new chapter began with the breakout and is running again, man. So hype in the chat for Googl, pretty much carrying the entire market on its shoulders today. But I don't know. I mean, Apple's helping a little bit, but dude, remember, look where Apple's at. You got to wonder. It could be down 10% tomorrow. It could be at 250 by open. But at the same time, remember, you're at the top of the channel. You're at overbought thresholds of an uptrend, but you've been consolidating. You're up just a little bit year to date. Not much. And so earnings can come out and it's good. And you could be at 285. You could be at the 1272 by tomorrow. You just don't know. You've no idea how the market is going to interpret the data that the board, the Aapl board, gives to investors. So it's a beautiful channel, is it not? They hit that top again for the first time, really, since September 26th. They hit that supply line of the channel. So get out the coins and flip them, man. Do a little voodoo, do a little bit of shamanism if you need to, but it's not going to help, okay? You have 50% chance of a breakaway gap like we saw on Google, like we saw on Microsoft, like we've seen on Nvidia. I would lean more that way. I would lean more to, oh, dude, it looks kind of like, oh, you know, a little long in the tooth here. It broke out to all-time highs. It wasn't showing off. There was no one offloading a position of Aapl like there was on Meta. Meta, there was definitely lower highs being put in, lower lows. Like they were already beginning to reverse the trend on Meta, at least. You have nothing like that on Aapl. You had nothing like that on Google before it reported right here at the top of this beautiful channel. They even freaking back tested the old all-time high as support before they did the thing, before they had the 9% gap up, breakaway gap. So different chart. Aapl is far, I mean, it's almost identical to Google before its earnings, or before the settlement or whatever. It was like a antitrust thing that settled. So this looks like Aapl, not like Meta. So I would, if you made me, you're like, you have to pick. If you don't pick, you can never go live again. You can never own assets again. I would just be like, okay, fine. I might be leaning more towards a gap up because of how similar it looks to Google, but you just never know. You don't know. It is always going to be a coin flip. Okay. Tesla down 4.14%. Not great, man. I mean, you have a gap at least you might fill in the coming days or something, but don't you dare do this thing, man, where you try once and then twice. And what is 465.33? It is this reversal point back from December 26th last year, one day after Christmas. It's a little peak that you reversed, right? And they reversed it once on the 2nd of this month, and now you tested it 2 days in a row and you just gapped down here, bad macro day. And if you lose 439.75, there's nothing there to 414. So there's a lot of downside if they lose this. If you have another bad macro day, like Aapl reports bad or the whole index fund goes down, like, yeah, you're looking at another almost 6% downside on Tesla, already down 4.23% after failing to break a key level not once, but now twice. So kind of gross, kind of sickening. But I think eventually it doesn't matter. If you're in the low 300s, you're just holding common shares and you're just hanging out. And you're like, oh yeah, it's kind of, I'm up a lot. I'm up like, what is it? Like 318 or something. Okay, up 39%, but yeah, it hasn't done anything in a while, but okay. Patience. Eventually 48, eventually price discovery. Dude, they're going to own the robotics market. But yeah, what if they pull it back to 400? What if they even fill a gap at 369? I mean, like, they very well could fill these gaps. You just never know. We just looked at where the NASDAQ is, right? Overbought threshold, hitting a heart line right now. Bitcoin is about to take out its lows of day, chat, in power hour. If you're enjoying the coverage of this market, hit that like button, the bell at sub. Don't judge me for it's having, the market being down today. I mean, we go live when it's up, when it's down, when it's flat, so you hitting the like button, you sharing, you subbing, all that is supporting what I do every day. So there it is, chat. Bitcoin low of day. Let's go to it on the bigger screen so you can see. Very bad. We now officially are trading at the lowest price since October 19th, which isn't that big a deal with 11 day lows, but it's more about the overall picture now, where you could structurally say we're screwed. You could structurally say that momentum has shifted into the hands of the sellers, and it is confirmed. Confirmed, chat. Target 1 going to be 100,000. Target 2, the 100% measured move of this very large potential head and shoulders that's pretty much being confirmed right now. It looks like 90K, 92K. That's the next, yeah, the next big levels. You see them, you got them. That's where you're headed if this is happening. Okay. Ethereum 3,500, then 3,000. 3,000 is your big target area on Ethereum. Solana's in the 150s, I think, and then XRP's 190 longer term. That's right, 6. That's right, SIG. Yep. Yeah, man. Ironically, I've got the old I survived the bear market of 2022 to 2023 on right now, and here we are, possibly today. Like, this could be, if we lose 106 and it's real, it's been a nice trend for a long time, and you might be going into correction mode. So something to think about, like on Bitcoin. Okay, so when did we last have a correction? Well, you go to low point to high point, right? You went to that low point in August, where it crashed after the shark. It was beautiful after the Bitcoin Nashville 2024 event, right? Conference. It crashed it. So that low point to the highest point. Where after it topped out did it correct to? You can clearly see over 50%, over 50%. I mean, the 618 you never got there, 72.1. But you virtually, let's see, I mean, 50%. So was it 55%? Yeah, 56% retrace. 56%. So if we just did some sort of correction from the previous major low to the highest high, which again, remember the weekly, it's like a double top almost. A 50% retrace, right in line with that first target, be 100K. 56% is probably going to take us to like 95K. So 618 is 94K. If you go any deeper, you get 65% retrace, golden pocket. You're looking at that 92K level. So that's, think about that. If it was just relative to the last correction we saw, you're not there. You still have another, I'm just saying, if it did happen the same way, right? You still have another, it was 56%, another 8% downside, which isn't too bad. I mean, whatever. Like altcoins, if it's 8% on Bitcoin, it's going to be like 20 to 30% on altcoins. So, but we knew that, like, right? Who's saying, okay, buy Cardano, man? But dude, buy Cardano. Buy XRP. No. All right. Oops. Yeah, like Cardano. There was nothing about this, man. There was literally nothing about this that was bullish. It actually became even more of a gorgeous short setup. Holy crap, right? It was like, hey, man, it could be a great short trade setup right here. October 21st, but you're telling me they went up and they did it again? They perfectly tested that. That's a dream for a short seller. Like, look at the automatic payout, and you're waiting for 46 cents, 41 cents, 37 cents. It's beautiful. TA respect right here, dude. The trend was already not your friend, right? The trend was already bearish, and it's gorgeous, man. Down over 8% today, lowest price since the October 10th liquidation event. But before, say you don't have that, say that Scamwake's not there, it's probably the lowest price since July. A lot of downside here on Cardano, and no surprise, beautiful. Like, you flip this over, my God, look at all the higher highs, higher lows, positive price action correlation. Look at this, man. That huge bullish move, and then they lose the low, they recapture, reconfirm once and then twice, and it's like, wow, someone could easily long that with a stop loss just below that support, and it could run so much upside here. It's the absolute inverse, and it's beautiful. I can't even imagine what some of these lesser than losers look like, dude. Kind of want to look at some, Mag 7s. We looked at Tesla, we looked at Google, we looked at Apple. We looked at Meta. Let's look at Microsoft. They reported earnings yesterday, and man, right? They is it a double top on the weekly? Dude, if it is, we're all screwed. I mean, my God, just forget that for a second. That is, wow. I mean, just paint the eye of Sauron right there. I hope not. I hope it's not some major double top, because that's certainly them trying to confirm things. We got 1 day, 1 hour till this weekly candle closes, so it's going to be a Halloween type of thing. That is, right now, if it is painted this way in 1 day and 1 hour, it would be certainly a potential shooting star on a confirmation high. That would be not good for longs or buyers. That's a more, somber outlook. That's more bearish. So yeah, Shiba Inu hat piggy coin. Yeah, dude, that was gonna change the world. Sauron looms. I hope not. I hope Sauron is devastated. But it's just there, and it's not great. Okay. Hits the golden mean ratio once and then twice. Don't tell me we're gonna Sauron double top at the golden mean ratio. That would be one for the history books, that's for sure. That would be crazy, man. Okay, let's look at Nvidia, down 2.27%. That candle yesterday, that's a gap up. I mean, we're not saying that's a bearish abandoned baby or anything because the gap wasn't low enough, but I mean, that is possibly some sort of doji reversal in a way. So whatever, over $200, don't care. It'll probably, whatever it does, it'll sell off more. It'll probably make the highest low it's ever made and run again maybe. But just showing you, they filled the gap, which is great. You don't want to sit up there with the gap unfilled. Like what? The problem is, wow, you got unfilled gaps below you, 1 and 2 and kind of 3. I mean, 2.5 gaps to fill, and you could fill all of them and still make a higher low and still formally back test 183.40 as support. So they could do some nasty selling on this thing and technically still going to be fine. So, and that would be terrible for the collective market. Okay, look at that. Let's look at the last one we haven't looked at, which is Amazon. Oh my God, chat. I'm now very concerned, extremely concerned. They did this. They actually did it so perfectly, it's scary. Okay. Your dragon virtually played out. The dragon's complete. In any world, the dragon is complete. Hitting a 618, whatever, off support. So this now is, I mean, a bearish back test of overhead resistance, but it's also articulating to us that there's less than before, less than we saw in July and September. And someone else could, I look at it like one peak locally and now 2. I see 2 of these highs lower than these 2 highs. And that to me is confirming distribution. So your target's back to 214, 215 to go maybe absorb some more demand. And if there's not enough demand, eventually they absorb all of it. You break that, you get a 200, you get a 188, and the TA is respected like crazy on this huge bearish bat pattern with a type 2 return. Everything, so far is in line. You figured maybe the macro is going to stay hot, but it may not stay hot. Macro may not stay hot. We just could have been a little early. So that's a new data piece. Yesterday and now today, I would take heed of that. Really, if you wanted it, you could have maybe a short setup and a stop loss might just be above 232.50 right here because there is stupid downside if it plays out. There just is. Yep. But, there you go. They reported earnings today, so it's like it could just gap up, bro. Oh, God. Okay, let's say we live in a world where earnings somehow fulfills the destiny of technical analysis. They're going to have a terrible earnings and this thing's going to collapse. But that's unfortunately not how it works because they're laying off 30,000 plus employees overnight, right? They're going robotics, and so their margins might be insane. They might be killing it, and the free market might love that. And it might just gap up after hours and go into a breakaway gap, and we never see this thing again. Like that's how crazy earnings are. That's why you cannot trust structures, because you just don't know what data we're going to get after hours, okay? That's right, Frodo Ely, the Shire will rise again or something, right? Bezos planning to sell, bro. He's been selling more than any other CEO of any of the Mag 7s by far. So he's going to sell again. It's not going to be him selling.
Can we just send the S coins to zero so we don't have to talk about them anymore?
Nope, wits. They have to exist. Because without the S coins, no one will learn any lessons. Yep, they gotta exist. They gotta break hearts and minds and souls so they can be teachers. Okay, those are the Mag 7s. I think we've had a request today. But dude, if you remember, there was this one asset, okay? Hold on, let me see if I can do this. See if it works. One sec. What? Yeah, it should work. There was this one asset. Does it work, chat? Can you hear me? Is something changed? If it has, please let me know. If not, yikes. Yes. There was this one asset and they sold burritos and it's down 17.62%. Chipotle, if you remember, that's gross, dude. Yeah, so I think they're saying that the low income, the middle income, no one is spending money anymore. Chipotle hit its lowest price since March of 2023 this morning, has bounced off the lows, but not by much. As the trend had already reversed, remember? Looking at Meta, it wasn't great. You were already downtrending. You were already looking disgusting. Look what happened before they even started rolling over. It was a lower high than the previous high. It was just distribution, offloading, the psychology of buyers and sellers. And they've just taken it to levels not seen in over 2.5 years. So support levels, big ones, I guess right there, 26 to 27 is your target. Now, they might run it up to 38.76 to back test it as resistance for rolling over, but as you can see, you're in the dead middle of two levels. Man, it's gross, dude. CI, Cigna Group, oh man, that distribution had already begun, right? The insiders, the smart money was already offloading their position very subtly. Lower low even came in. They violated a level sign of weakness and they rallied it again. And what they do locally, oh look, one high and a second high. They're about the same, but both of these lower than this high and this high. And then earnings, and it just collapsed. It's down again, 17%, lowest price since June 2023. I mean, this is healthcare, dude. So the TA respected. The TA was made here, right? I mean, like, it was all looking bad. And lo and behold, they send it to where the trend already was. So I'm hoping, right? I'm hoping on Aapl, the way things are, we might just get a breakaway gap and melt faces off and it carries the market. But you just don't know. It could gap down bad. So disgusting, dude. Carvana, whoa, dude, Carvana. Down 13.66% on earnings. Huge volume, gap down, but you're still above such a key level. But this is where you just say, I wonder. There's a little bit of momentum shifting with a lower high, but you didn't know it was going to be a lower high yet. They were still making the same. It was tougher on this one. It was that big old coin flip here too. So still above the 200 moving average and support. So no, not too bad, but just they hit all-time highs a couple times. Once and twice, and they failed. And so they've confirmed it, and now you have that lower high. So it's yeah, interesting. International Paper, an old trade setup that was such a dream of all dreams, right? Remember down here, good God, in August 2023, all this in 2024 ran. And my God, dude, really, my God, like the exit for this was like $56, $57, because look, you go back in history, it reverses 1997, dude, 99, 2000. Look, I mean, up here 2015, 2018, and 2021. It's just like it. I'll show you the weekly. It's so crazy on the weekly. It was more like a Gartley on the weekly. Yeah, look at the freaking Gartley. Like they bottom it out historically at 30 bucks, and they end the whole thing at 57 bucks. And there you go. It's over. Dude, why is it not changing? Oh my God. Dude, so here, I'll show you that I have effing hotkeys that change the voice changer, and somehow an update happened, and where I'm using the hotkey, it says that I'm on normal, but clearly I wasn't. And I even checked before. Sorry. Yeah, when y'all started typing fast, I'm like, well, something's off. Something's off. So anyway, I mean, at least y'all could hear me. I was audible, but I was just in church. It was a biblical sell-off on IP today, and sorry about that. I can't trust the hotkeys, my Stream Deck's hotkeys. I can't. So, God, man, it's just. I'm telling you, one thing I've learned about streaming for nearly 8 years, like, you would think like stuff gets better. It doesn't. Like virtually nothing's gotten better in my user experience as a streamer. In fact, there are many third-party services that like are broken and no longer work that were so clutch and amazing for the stream. They don't exist anymore. They're done. Technology, like stupid things like a hotkey. Now, it's 2025. Like same problems since 2018 and virtually no improvements at all. So yeah, one day I'll write a book on it, like how stupid all this is. Like what is improved in the streaming world? Nothing. But yeah, my God, dude, IP, let me just show you real quick, okay? Let me try to find it.
Price action so bad, Mitch coming to us from the basement low.
That's right, man. We're in the basement, dude. We're in the basement, man. Thank you, dude. Static trading. Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever find this. Like, I don't even know. Like, maybe I will, but maybe not. This was back in like 2024. Oh, okay, we're getting close. Yeah, it's yeah, sorry again about that, dude. It's really frustrating on my side. Yeah, really frustrating. I'm just trying to find it, dude. I will. I'm so close now, maybe. God. It was just like the whole community was talking so much about IP. Okay, so let me just like show you like the gist of the idea here, okay? Like on assets that do stuff like this. Looking for like old levels where, man, historically, big reversal. Then M-shape completes the exact same level years later. And it's just like, yeah, man, like, look at this. Like, this was the IP trade, man. It was like, you get it, the entry down here, the third valley, another low there. And then look, the final target of that trade setup posted February 29th, 2024. Look at the final target. It was $56.81, virtually $57. And yeah, they overshot it for a couple of days. They really didn't. I mean, it was like, that's it. That's where it was done, right? That is exactly where the trade ended, and that's where the whole asset has reversed. At this point, how much? Since $56.81, right? Since that exit of trade setup. It's down 33.6% since then. And chat, we have really bad news, breaking news. The S-Coin market is continuing its doom. Ethereum alert going off, XRP alert going off. There is no reason to own Ethereum now below 39.50. Just letting you know, you've got a big bearish engulfing candle, and you're looking at a $3,000 target eventually. So, very bad, boys. Very bad. So everything just kind of saw session lows there for a moment, and then they 1 second. Here we go. There it is. The closing bell on Wall Street. Ding, ding, ding. So that's what they did. And the US futures at lows of day as I'm speaking to you, they sold it all into power hour, and it all crescendoed in the last seconds, last moments of trading, of the trading session, if you will. And then XRP, alert going off or went off, 6.56% flushing. And because there's nothing here, nothing, dude. First target, 219, second target, 196, 190. It is confirmed on the 4 hour on Bitcoin, a candle close broken. You have a bearish breakdown. So now, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, future's still going to be open, but 5 to 6, who knows what's going to happen. I think the largest liquidation event in crypto history, it might have happened. Can someone help me remember? We know the day, but the time when that event occurred. I think it was between 5 and 6 p.m. Eastern, which is when futures were closed for 60 minutes every day, and it reopens at 7 p.m. Eastern. So let me know if you can remember that, or you can look into it and find out the time, Eastern, U.S. Eastern time. So yeah. So now that Wall Street's maybe, closed for the day, they might, the selling pressure might subside a little bit. You might go up and test one of these levels as resistance, but man, you're getting to a point where it's just insurmountable amounts of adversity to overcome, to reverse the trend, for things to get better again. That wasn't great, man. Amazon pump. Amazon pump, right? Amazon, that's what I mean, dude. You cannot, nothing makes sense in Aapl. It looked like it trend-wise, it might pump like Google, but it might dump now. In Amazon that looked like it was gonna maybe dump is pumping. Amazon is right at all-time highs as I'm speaking to you, chat. It just hit an all-time high. Yeah, Amazon hit an all-time high just seconds ago on an earnings report. Right here. You see what I'm saying, man? Nothing makes sense when it comes to earnings. It's up 9%. Aapl gonna report and might be down 9%. And it's just but Aapl looked good, but it didn't matter. Amazon 9.8%, all-time highs as I'm speaking to you. What are you talking about? Chat, am I muted? 5 p.m. Eastern. It was 5 p.m. Eastern. See, they did the rug pull on crypto when futures were closed. Insane. So Amazon looks like a breakaway gap might be in the midst of happening. This is the inverse of what Meta went through yesterday. This is more powerful of a move than over 10% more powerful move than Google yesterday. 10% on Amazon, chat. And we're still awaiting Apple's report. But man, if this happened on Amazon, oh boy, probably gonna be bad for Apple, right? There's no way they're both gonna pump, dude. Anytime there's earnings season, one pumps, the other dumps. They don't both pump, man. Okay, Ethereum at lows of day as I'm speaking to you. My alert just went off again. No bids here. No bids in crypto, as you're seeing masterful bids on Amazon. And that's about it so far. Do we have any other big names outside of Aapl? Yeah, dude, see, you cut 30,000 people from the workforce, just robots. That's what I mean, man. The free market loves that. Sorry, this alert keeps triggering every time. Kind of annoying. But still at lows of day. Hey, man, no one caught the memo in crypto about what Amazon's doing. I guess Apple's about to report in a minute or 6 minutes. I'm not sure, but it's about to be a huge move down or up. My God, Amazon trading at 245 after hours. Oh, Exos. Oh, man. I pray to God this is a breakaway gap to the upside because it was so... I guess you're in such good shape that even if it gaps down, it won't matter because it's the weekly. Yeah, I can imagine they gap it down and it's a buying opportunity at that point. For real, this is such an insane setup Like you would probably want it to gap down so they could put in like another higher low than these two lows. And it's just another buying opportunity. Anything like between like 40 and 60 is like the buying zone. But if they report and it just gaps up, it's like, well, you had your chance to get in, I guess, at 41, 42, but now it's gone. So we'll see. Someone keep me updated on that. Yeah, Amazon's still running. It is currently up to 246 right now after hours. Looking for movement in the other Mag 7s. Nothing yet on Aapl. Oh, what about MicroStrategy? It's terrible. We looked at it earlier. So what's up, Vic and Chargers? What's up? How y'all doing? Solana, is it at its lows? Almost, yeah. Bearish. That's real bad on the weekly. Wow, that's so bad. That's like the worst thing you could dream of on the weekly. Look, I mean, it's not an opinion. It's not my opinion what's happening. It's like what the sellers are doing. Okay? You don't have to be like a genius to know what sellers are doing. Like there's this old overhead resistance where certainly a reversal occurred there. Okay? Certainly. And now they've broken that level, and they've now regarded that old resistance as resistance for 3 weeks in a row, and now you're catching a bearish engulfing candle. Like, that's bad. That's like, oh, you could very well be targeting for, if you're like a weekly short seller, stop loss above 203, 205, and you're targeting for 130 to 136. Simple. And they could take it down there, and it'd still probably be okay. Bitcoin dominance back to 60. Oh, yeah, we didn't look at that, did we? Gold did well today. Gold did well. Apple's moving a little bit, but I still don't think it reported. It's not moved near enough. So, yeah, it's going to be like 250 or 285. It's going to be nuts, man, whenever they do. So, yeah, this sucks, man, on Solana's weekly. That's probably the worst thing that you could have ever dreamed of, to be real. Yeah. Bitcoin dominance, yeah, we'll look at it. Remember, if you're enjoying the live stream, been live now 1 hour, 7 minutes. Hit that like button, that bell, that sub. Don't get mad at me because crypto sucks. That's not my fault, dude. We're just covering it, all right? Yeah, Bitcoin dominance breaking 60. Wow, that is... We're going on 7 weeks in a row of positive candles. Dude, if you break 60 here, it's just straight to 61.55%. My God, they could be putting in on the weekly the highest low of the uptrend. If that's the case, we are so screwed on altcoins. Yeah. That's just like, wow, are they really going to do that to us, man? To the altcoins? Could be really bad. So Amazon's still around 245 after hours, all-time highs, and then Apple's just, they're waiting. They're waiting to report. Big yikes. Coin ER, oh boy. Remember that one had kind of been doing bad. Oh God. Up 1.67%. It was, oof, dude, that's like bearish dragon. If you're only at 1.64% on earnings being down 5.77%, I wouldn't call that a win. I would say anything below 369 at this point, this is real bad, dude. Let me show you. Like, remember, if you don't like, if you don't, you're not identifying structures and stuff, you're just looking for price action correlation to key levels, because it's like that's how we read these markets. It's like how you're reading the psychology of the sellers and the buyers. And so this old peak from November 2021, everyone in the world right now can see this. And you take this back, and what have they done? What have they done this week? They ran it up to that level and they regarded it as resistance. And you look at this sell-off you got. You're like engulfing last week's candle. You're breaking some sort of like demand line, and this is like a bearish dragon pattern. So that's like very negative price action correlation to a key level. So that is not good. And now you lose 334.50. You're probably targeting for 290, 282. Let's look at that daily. Disgusting. Disgusting, like, you know, because both these highs are lower than the highest high, which hit an all-time high resistance and rolled over. And yeah, you're like confirming distribution here. It's up 0.15%. Hey man, Bitcoin's positive on the 4 hour. Is the downtrend over? Okay, Amazon giving back a little bit of the gains. Apple, they're still waiting. I just can't feel that confident about Apple if Amazon beat and they blew up like that. I mean, probably the inverse happens to Apple, right? Should have done a poll or something, but we've just been too engulfed in the charts. Yeah, I mean, I don't tell you about that. Nothing technically good is good here for now. But yeah, earnings did not move the meter at all. So it was a nothing burger earnings. But man, you really need to get back above 369, 368, but you didn't. You, in fact, did the worst thing that you could possibly ever do, regarded as resistance. You up-thrusted, and then you back-tested the up-thrust, which is literally the inverse of a spring back-test of spring, which is one of your most powerful technical indicators. If you catch a successful one of those have the highest probability of any technical indicator out there for huge moves, which in this case would be a huge upside, but unfortunately, in the inverse, huge downside. So we will see in the coming days. You know, again, Wall Street was dumping crypto and Bitcoin, and then trading session concluded 12 minutes ago, and there's really been no more selling pressure, which typically happens. There was a little bit on Ethereum, and Solana and the alts, but not on Bitcoin. So Netflix announces 10-for-1 stock split. They need to do something, man, right? Up 2.75%. Yeah, they had to come out with some sort of news. Things were getting ugly, dude, right? Today was the lowest daily candle close on Netflix since April 23rd. Wow, man. You're hitting I think log scale. I don't even remember. What was it? Yeah, log scale channel. Oh, wow. Dude, look at this log scale trend, this channel. And they virtually took this thing to the demand line. Dang. That's freaking wild. Thing goes back to 2022. Sometimes it's cool to look at log scale. A lot of people just use that. But, yep, that's great, dude. Stock split. Up 3% plus now. Did Roblox report or something that dump? Okay. We were looking at some of these from earlier that are just getting smoked. We looked at the bigger ones, the double-digit losers. Oracle, man. Oracle was... They could never truly do it, could they? So this correction continues on... they took it down to the July and August highs. Maybe that holds, but you do something like this, macro sells off, Aapl dumps, you're looking probably to go fill the gap at this point. It seemed like a breakaway gap. Well, it had all the makings of a breakaway gap. They haven't filled it yet, but man, that's ugly. Ugly what happened today on this one. So... sold on the daily and the weekly looks really bad. Really, really bad, boys. Okay, so right now what they're doing on the 4-hour on Bitcoin is they're just regarding this 106.9, 107 level as resistance so far. And that's it. Man. Wish it could be better, man. Let's see here. I don't think we had... Oh, dude, we have not had... Oh, yeah, we have kind of one request. Kind of one request today, chat. BioCryst Pharmaceuticals. Oh, God, another one of the pharmas. Well, we've been here before. Last time I was here, it looks like we were looking at the 2020 spring back test, and it went berserk over that. Now, I'm not really sure. Gonna go to the weekly. This would be for Big Ben. Yeah, Big Ben, you're clearly not at the levels for the best entry. You're in between them. I mean, like, if you wanted to try to have a stop loss below $6, I guess you could give it a shot, man. But I don't think I think you're kind of just smoking hopium on that. I don't really think that's a huge deal. It's like 341's the big level. Load high here. See, an 886 would have been wonderful. They couldn't even do it before they rallied it. I mean, I think you'd be targeting 360. I think you would want to buy 360. You get maybe a type 2 return of an M shape, confirmation low, and a strategic entry where you can really set up a nice tight stop loss and know your upside is absolute maximum. So maybe it never gets there again, I know, but I would want that. I would want 340 again. I know it's 725 now, but sorry, dude. And that was it, man. That was like the only request. So what am I supposed to do, dude? What do you want me to do? Let's look at gold real quick because it did bounce today. About time, right? Metals did the thing. Up 2.35%, in fact. Way off the lows of the week where you got to 38.93. 30, yeah. At 4,020. Not bad, man. I think there's kind of, they filled the gap, I guess, but yeah, no structure. I mean, no structure, nothing to do. You're flipping coins, you don't know. Like the bullish engulfing candle is going to be confirmed in 43 minutes, and that could be the beginning, you know, of an attempted rally that takes us back to rivaling all-time highs again or even higher. But you don't have an edge. You're just kind of gambling on that. So that's right. Amazon gapped up. It's at all-time highs still as I'm speaking to you after hours. So what's up, Vincent, man?
And Vincent LeChapelle 7432 super chatted $71.71. Hey Mitch, can you look at Ribbon with a daily close today? THX a lot.
Oh wow, Vincent. Yeah, thanks so much, dude. We'll go to it right now. Why not? Let's do the thing, man. Amazon saving the futures market, that's for sure, because that's the only thing that's doing anything right now. Amazon, wow. Let's see, Rivian. That, you know, this is one where, like, yeah, real bad day today. I mean, bad macro day. Nothing's really changed, has it? Like, I mean, the whole, you know, past 2 weeks just kind of been hanging around back below the 200, unfortunately. Yep, they can't get anything going. Fundamentals suck on this thing. You know, at least with Baba, it was the second largest e-commerce giant in the entire world. We're looking at the first e-commerce giant right now blow up. But yeah, Rivian, like, don't think they ever make money. They have like negative cash flows. It's like a fiasco there. But the technicals are really interesting. But I know Scott Carney said he wants to see a higher high, and that is true. Like, a higher high would be wonderful. We have not seen a higher high. I mean, that does not mean higher high. These are all the same highs. They're all lower than this high. This high is lower than this high. These two highs are lower than this high. I mean, you haven't really made a higher high since 2023, and so that's kind of a problem. But yeah, I mean, you still have the evidence that there's more than before on the bottom side, but win bids, win promised land, win higher highs than previous highs discernibly. Yeah. Yeah, bad day. So you just hope that things turn around tomorrow, you know. If they're gonna take it back down 1261 if they want, you know, maybe that holds. If it doesn't, then you're looking probably to eyeball 1180, and 1180 is where things start getting froggy. You do not want to lose that because you've already confirmed that level as support after a spring back test. So I think the argument might get weaker if you're testing it again, because then it might be more susceptible to breaking, which would kind of kill the entire setup. So yeah, daily close. Just more of what we've been seeing the past 2 weeks. Kind of like a little range between 1270 and 1370. Amazon is saying, yeah, it's not giving those gains up. No way. And what's up with Apple? What time does Apple report, chat? It's got to be in the next minute or 11 minutes, right? 4:20 or 4:30. Someone let me know. 1 minute. What? All right, Kai. Well, I mean, by all means, it's just like typically owning puts on something that looks like this, it's just like, man, there are better ways to, like, I would love to buy puts on something that look like that. My God, it's been running, and now after all the higher highs, higher lows forever, right? They're showing that they're offloading the position strategically, and it's still trading below the key overhead resistance from 2023. I mean, like, to me, that's where I'd be wanting to buy puts on something to look like that. But again, like, if you want to buy puts just because down here, I mean, like, it might play out for you, you know, but I think there's better strategies involved. Way better ones. 10 more minutes for Apple. I guess we'll stick around for that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, a lot of down today. Tesla closed real nasty. I mean, it closed like at the lows. Yeah, right at support, man. Jeez. Yeah, that's kind of ugly, isn't it? 465 resistance. Confirmed up thrust, back test of up thrust, and then some follow through. Bitcoin 107, right? Wall Street closed. People are bidding, trying to recapture the level. 3 hours, 38 minutes till this 4-hour candle closes. So what was that 4-hour close? It was the lowest 4-hour candle close we had seen on Bitcoin since my birthday, October 17th, man. All right. That's so crazy, dude, right? Isn't that what, dude, the largest liquidation event in crypto history was, that wasn't it, was it? This was the largest, it was the 10th, okay. Yeah, it was a bad birthday for that, but taking it lower than the liquidation event. LAC hanging on, yeah, LAC's just like it played out, but yeah, man, people can take profits, it's gonna sell off, but I think wherever it concludes, it's gonna be a higher low than the previous low, so. Cactus says Apple rising. Do not believe anything about Apple price right now. It will be an abrupt, immediate, huge move one way or another when the report occurs. So, it's up nothing. It's up barely anything. It doesn't matter. It could very well be down 6-7%, or it could be up 8%. But chances are, since Amazon beat like that, I don't know how Amazon and Apple both get crazy moves like that to the upside. See, yeah, not as confident now, but I guess it just depends. Yeah, we need to look at silver, sorry. MicroStrategy, it doesn't matter what their earnings do. Like, they're not going to, look at that silver. Wow. That little bullish pin bar caught follow through and it's running. Now it's going to 49.80 again. Test that old all-time high. The weekly candle close back from, just the all-time high from 2011. April 2011. So, nice little rally here, but no edge, no structure. You just had a Japanese candlestick and it caught follow through and it's running. So it's getting respected. Big resistance upon us. I have an alert set up there if we test it again. So MicroStrategy is reporting, and like, again, it's not gonna. It's up 2.75%, but it doesn't matter because it was down 7.55% today. You get it. Look where it's at. It's trading right there. I can't feel anything at all. What'd they report? Have they reported yet? Shut. I mean, I guess they are. It is 2.55%. That's nothing. That's a nothing burger report. But earnings never mattered on MicroStrategy. And it did, in fact, close below the 886. I mean, my God, it closed at its lowest, had its lowest daily candle close since April 8th. Wow, that's disgusting, isn't it? That was the nadir, the lowest level of the Trump tariff crash. That's where you're closing at. That is so bad. You got Amazon hitting all-time highs after hours. Apple hit all-time highs today. Google all-time highs today. Nvidia all-time highs yesterday. Record daily candle close on Microsoft 3 days ago. And you've got MicroStrategy doing that? Really? There are winners and there are losers. This is literally a massive loser. It just is. Like, who won the recovery, the V-shape? Definitely not MicroStrategy. And it doesn't matter what it's up after. Oh, it's up 3% now. Doesn't matter. Loser. Yeah, coin reported, but it didn't really move, right? Unless maybe we thought it was up and then it just kind of went sideways. And yeah, 2.57% is kind of nothing when it's down 5.77% today. So you kind of like really need this thing to, these buyers to recapture 368, 369. I mean, it's such a big deal. It's an overhead resistance from 2021. You got to recapture that. Let's look at that Bitcoin 3-day. Why not? Bitcoin 3-day. Oh my God, you're right. How could they do this, man? How could they do it? Well, technically, it's not by the book a falling three methods, because the first candle has to be large, and the three candles have to be contained within the parameters of the first candle and the fifth candle. So, now if you did Japanese candlestick math and you added these two candles together, yes, it is, but it's more of a three-line strike in a way. Three-line strike. Yeah, it's like literally this, isn't it? They call it a bullish three-line strike pattern, but wow, you know, four candles and then the fourth just blasts through and engulfs all of the previous candles. The other three, it's kind of maybe more what you got going on, but hey, man, they're pumping it, dude. Everything's good, bro. Apple will be reporting in 3 minutes. It's up a little bit. It means nothing. In fact, I hate that it's up a little bit because it's probably going to dump now because Amazon reported so well and it's up for no reason right now. So, yep. So 3-day, 3 hours and 32 minutes until the 3-day candle close. So yeah, we got that close coming up today. You're flirting with, you're on the verge, but you may not, because look, they're rallying it. It may take it to 108. They could go to 109. It doesn't, all that's bad. Still, it's still like you're not out of the woods in any way, back testing any of these levels as resistance and failing. But I'm just saying, in 3 hours, if it closed a little bit lower, then it would be the lowest 3-day candle close possibly since June 21st. Wow. Yikes. But yeah, you can still see like on the 3-day, the visibility of that potential head and shoulders. I mean, dude, no one wants it to be that, but like you can't get upset for an analyst for identifying its potentiality. Like it could be that. And then we could get ourselves the exact same type of correction we got before in 2024 to 2025. You got a 56% correction from the previous low to high. If you did that again, you'd be at like 96,000, and it'd be the highest, major highest low you've ever seen in all of Bitcoin, you know, but people would lose their house and their souls and they would cry. It'd be over. All right, Chip Flippo, man. Yeah, we're just sticking around because we're waiting on earnings. Apple probably going to just bust because of Amazon blowing up. But here we go, man. Here we go. Let's just pull it up. Is it going to pull a Google? Because it looks identical to Google before Google went berserk. But yeah, up 0.5% doesn't mean anything. Literally means nothing. Here comes the volatility chat. 5 seconds until the report. Down 2.7%, dumping. Only down 1.2, down 2%. Yeah, they're dumping it. And there you go. Exactly. You can't have Amazon and Apple pumping. Chat down 3.6%. Now it's only down 1.6%. Dude, it's all over the place. So no big move really, one way or another yet, because 1.5% now is nothing. Yep, they chose to sell it off by the looks of it for now. But a 2.6% sell-off is nothing. Or if it opened like that, that gap would fill. Now it's down over 3%. Yep, they chose down. Amazon up, Apple down. How crazy is that? Where Apple looked like it was going to be going, and now it's back to the levels we saw in December 2024. Fluctuated between 2 and 3% down. So again, that is no breakaway gap. That's kind of just surviving earnings a little bit. So, but we'll see. It could pick. Yeah, it's starting to pick up now. Now we're at lows of the after hours session. So it was like 3.5%. Yep. Yeah, man. Earnings is just like, doesn't matter what you think. Doesn't matter what the chart looks like in any way. But it's only down 1.2%. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, you just don't know. Like, it's all over the place. But not once has it gone positive since the report. So, yeah, down less than 1%. It's about a flip positive, though. My God, it was as close as it's been. It was down, like 0.36%. But jeez, dude, this is crazy. Bitcoin sell order, dude, none of that matters. Doesn't matter if someone sold Bitcoin, Jason. That was it. It's like, okay, now the overall market's going to do its thing. Yep. We did it, man. So I guess Jesus chimes for earnings. Yeah, this is the biggest nothing burger. If that was it, now 1% now, dude, you're good. You know, maybe they back test 260 again, but yeah, that was sellers trying to have a go at it, and it's not really going anywhere. What was the report, Chad? Anyone have it? Record sales, but they're down. See what I'm saying? Like, oh, record, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Because the market expected record sales, right? Oh, wow, look at your NASDAQ futures. About to flip positive after hitting that heart line. Wow, man, you can thank Amazon. Over $245 all-time highs as I'm speaking to you. And great news on Aapl is it's only down less than 1% now. So a conference call comes around, this thing could start roaring. You just don't know. Yeah, that's why it's like reporting earnings, like, or being live for earnings reports. It's kind of like, okay, it's like the inverse of what we're doing here, you know. But hey, man, Bitcoin's 107.1, so that's good. Okay, so those are the big reports. EPS 1.85. I know so they missed on EPS. No wonder the dump, right? And they barely beat on revenue. So, yeah, like I could definitely see why it's down 1%. Yeah, that was like very lackluster earnings, actually. So, no surprise on Aapl being down. And then we can just go back to, all right, so, that, yeah, down 2%, 1%, you name it. That is virtually Aapl just surviving. It might go to 260, whatever. And none of those are going to be big breakaway gaps where that gap just, it's not a meta. Like if this was Meta, it would be down like 8% right now, and it'd be troublesome. But no big deal right now. Could very well flip positive anytime. Still think Apple has a lot of catching up to do to the other big boys. Just saying. I really like Apple, technically. Yeah, and it's been that way. So I think it's going to hit a 1272, 1618 eventually. But yeah, okay. So Bitcoin, you can see how close we are to death, but they haven't done it yet. They may not let it happen. We have not seen a candle close below that level since the fake out July 1st. That was it, man. So all we can do is just pray that they don't let it fall. And if it does fall and you close below, just immediate rejection, recapturing the next day. So Wall Street's not there to sell Bitcoin anymore. So catching some bids, man. Whew. Deep breaths. We're gonna be all right, man. All right, well, thank y'all for coming out. Please be sure to join the Discord if you haven't. It's pinned in the chat. It's free to join. There's educational resources in there. You get notified when I go live personally, so you never miss a live stream. You will miss a live stream if you're not in the Discord because YouTube fails to notify. So let's just pray that 106, the level of all levels, remember the old candle closes from December of last year, January this year. Let's just hope it holds. It is for now. Thank God. I mean, throw the dang towel. Rocky IV, you know, Apollo Creed's trainer or whatever. Throw the dang towel. They threw the towel. Thank God. Before Apollo Creed started twitching. So there's a chance, man. Just everyone have their alert set up around 106, 105.9. Okay. I'll be back. Till next time. Respect the T. A.
Time spreads open. Every day I think on you and miss you.
And there you go, chat. Just like that, Apple has flipped positively, maybe briefly, but positive after hours. Hype in the chat.
Bruh. Come back to me.
JP. I am a robot. I like robots. I have a robot vagina.
I have some evidence Man Bear Pig could be in this area.
I don't know, sir.
And then, just like that, adios, turd nuggets.